Hello and welcome to another video session. We're going to continue talking about the piece development and the opening. As I explained earlier, we have three phases. We have the opening, middle game, and end game. So I'll really put an emphasis on the opening because if the game in the opening is not done properly, you lose quite easily. So on the opening phase, there are three basic principles that you need to follow. So there's develop the pieces, control the center, and king safety. So when it comes to developing the pieces, we have minor pieces, which are knights and bishops. They need to be developed first. And then center control, these four center squares, the E4, E5, D4, D5, these are the four center squares that you need to focus on. So every time you're developing the pieces, they have to be going towards the center. So for example, if I develop this knight on G1, I'm not supposed to put it on H3 because that's away from the center. I'm supposed to put it on F3, which is towards the center. So knight development, I develop the piece, which is a minor piece, and it's towards the center. Black plays D5. Black has developed a pawn, and the pawn is controlling the C4, E4 squares. So anything that comes on these two squares, this pawn is able to capture. So this pawn is controlling the two squares. The knight is controlling the D4 and E5 square. So white responds to the same thing, D4, also controlling these two squares, the C5 and E5. Black develops the white bishop on F5. White plays bishop on F4. Black plays a knight on C6. White plays A3. I won't really put much into consideration the fact that the pieces, I'm just moving around the pieces so that you can see how pieces are moved and how we develop in the opening phase, trying to use the three basic principles, which is develop the pieces, control the center, and king safety. As you can see, most of the pieces are being developed towards these four center squares. So black plays e6, knight plays, white plays knight to c3, black plays bishop to e7, white plays e3, black plays knight f6, white plays bishop e2. So black plays queen e7, white plays king d2. Black played the queen on d7, then white played on d2. So as you can see, if you're able to connect the two rooks, which means you've done with the opening, the knights are out, the bishops are out, both black and white are controlling the center. So now in this case, we've done with two of the three basic principles of the opening, which is control the center, develop the pieces. So we're just remaining with one, which is king safety. So you can decide to castle long side castling or queen side castling, which is on the left side of the board, or king side castling, which is on the right side of the board. So depending on where your opponent was developing the pieces, you can decide to castle either way. So now I'm going to castle king side. Oh no, it's black to play. Black castles kingside, white castles kingside. So the development is done. So now this is where the opening ends. So once you're done with the opening, when the pieces, the minor pieces, which are the knights and the bishops, are out, the center is being controlled by the pawns and your other pieces, and your king has been secured. It's safely put where it is located now. You're done with the opening. Now you can start thinking of how to attack your opponent's king. Start looking for ways in which you can start putting pressure on the king, either the black king or the white king. So since you do not want to give your opponent a upper hand in terms of attacking you, whilst you're attacking, supposed to be defending your king also. So black plays that move to protect this g5 square. Black doesn't want white to come with either the bishop or the knight on this square. If white wants, they can do the same thing or play g3. So now g3 created what we call a pawn chain. So we have these 3 pawns that are able to protect each other. So in this video, the whole idea is just to show how pieces move and how we do with the opening phase. When you are done with your development, what exactly is supposed to be doing now. So let's see if we can play another game. This time I'm going to play black. So the game which was played against certain grandmasters. So as you can see in this position, white decided to castle king side and then start attacking immediately in the center. So if black wants to continue this control of the center, can either decide to capture the pawn on d4 or just bypass it. But in this case, bypassing it won't do black any good, because if it's played here on c4, the bishop which is on e2 will just capture the pawn on c4. So in this case, it just capture. White captures. Black would want to protect this file because this position, these two are placed in the same file, which means they are very strong as a pair. So that put the knight there, this captures, that captures. Let's take this takes queen takes bishop, queen takes, rook takes. Let's take protection. So we are done with the development, with the opening phase on on move 10. The development was done. So now the rest of the game started going towards the middle game, and we are almost in the end game. So this is part of the opening. This is where the opening ends. Now we start going towards the middle game and the end game. So this is middle game and end game all together. So thank you for watching the video. We'll see you in the next session.